second match was Tessa Blanchard with Victoria Crawford against Gia Miller with Jody Threat.
Yes. Jody Threat. This match was weird for me. I was starting to get, you know how we say like we used to watch and then we fell off? Mm-hmm. I was starting to get vibes of why we fell off for a split second. I was
From this match?
This is where it started.
Oh, dang.
And I was like, uh-oh. Because, first of all, I know who Tessa Blanchard is. I didn't know who Gia Miller was. And then they played a package at the beginning of it, illustrating to me that Gia Miller was an interviewer. And they were just beefing because Tessa was being really disrespectful to Gia. Gia's an interviewer, so she eats it, right? But she kept doing it over and over, and then there's a moment where Tess puts her hands on Gia. She's not going to stand for it. She's going to defend herself, and then it gets revealed that she does have some wrestling training. She used to be a wrestler back in the day. When she came to TNA, she came as an announcer, but she has wrestling experience to some degree. Not as much, obviously, as Tessa. But she's not just some punk announcer who's just going to get punked out and played, and she's going to get her respect back, right? That's the whole package. Then we get to okay, it's time to ring the bell now. We do the entrances, and I think I said this to you when we were watching it. Tessa comes out first with Alicia Fox, with Victoria Crawford. And she does the whole I'm a fake Mexican routine deal that she normally does. And then Gia comes out to this monumentous entrance. Like, she's got this great song, great look, the attire's there. She's got a ring entrance. She's got everything going for her. She looks like a big deal. Gia Miller. And that's when I made the point. I was like, ooh, this is a mistake. Because if she is an announcer and she hasn't had a match in a while, which could be a shoot, I don't know, the idea that you're presenting her as a wrestler, I feel like was a mistake. Because there's no way she's winning this match. A. And you're presenting her like she's a threat to Tessa. So I went, okay, well, maybe they're going to push the idea that she's a wrestler. But then they have the match, and Tessa and her have a match like she's not really a wrestler. So they performed the match correctly, but they built it like it was going to be something more. If you went to go take a piss, or if you went to go get a hot dog, or whatever the case may be, and you missed the package, you didn't see the package, but you came just in time to see the entrances, you think, all right, regular singles match. And then here comes Gia in the ring with Tess getting fucking dogged out. And you're like, whoa, this woman is a fucking jabron. She is garbage. What is she doing in the ring with Tessa Blanchard? And that's the takeaway. Like, if you were trying to put her in a position where you wanted to build something, let's say that this was the beginning of an in-ring career for her in TNA, shitty start. Shitty start. It's not Gia's fault. It is not Tessa's fault. They had the match they were supposed to have. They just presented Gia like she was a big deal when they shouldn't have. They should have presented her as she was presented before this match. When an announcer gets into the ring for a match against their will,
it should have been like a Michael Cole type match when he
something
came
like
out
that,
kind of geeky,
where it's like, yeah,
like he's kind of trying to be training
geeky,
the last couple of weeks to kind of like.
We don't need her to be a chicken shit, but at the same time, we don't want her looking strong and fierce. That's not. She needs to be an underdog. She needs to know. The audience needs to know she's fighting from underneath, right? And she wasn't. Everything leading to the match looked like she was a big deal until the match happened, and then they had the correct match. Tessa is supposed to dominate this girl. She's not just a former Knockouts champion. She's a 2-time world champion. She won the men's belt twice. By that logic alone, there shouldn't be any woman in this division that gives her a problem, let alone.
Yeah, but your problem is how she won. Remember, she like cheated or like.
Oh yeah, that was another issue.
Yeah,
she dominates the whole match, and then there's a comeback that comes, and then the actual finish is that she cheated to beat the announcer.
Yeah,
she didn't just beat the announcer, even if it was by the skin of her teeth. She should have.
A
2-time world champion.
World champion.
She should have easily. She should have easily beaten this woman.
And the funny thing is, not only does she cheat, but she came prepared with the item to cheat.
So she already had the idea in her head. I might have to cheat my way out of this.
Yeah, so she already had it.
Against this backstage interviewer that hasn't had a match in years. I might have to cheat to get by this one.
That made no sense.
None of this shit made sense. The only thing that made sense was the beginning and middle of this match. She's supposed to dominate Gia, and then Gia's supposed to fight from underneath. That's correct. But the build-up leading up to the bell was weird. It was weird. I get it. You haven't had a match in forever. It's your first time live on pay-per-view. You want to look the part. But that's not storytelling. We're going to get there. Survive the test match, right? And we'll move the storyline along, and you'll progress over time. And eventually, by the time we get to the end of this program, the audience will have bought into the idea that you're a wrestler, like a real wrestler. And then you pull out the bullshit. Not night one. That was a situation of an individual thinking, I'm going to have my moment before we got to the moment. That this was the moment. That's called short-term thinking. This is my moment. I'm finally on pay-per-view. No, your moment is 3 pay-per-views from now. When you finally give the heel the comeuppance. This is the show where you're supposed to get your ass kicked. And she did. But I don't know. In my eyes, in my opinion, they damaged her to the audience because they really got that audience thinking she was something really special. Oh, it was like a big debut. That's what it felt like. If you didn't see the package and you saw the makeup and the look and the music, and she had a ring, a rope deal for her entrance and the whole shebang, she felt like a star. And then she got dominated the entire match. So yeah, this one wasn't very high on the list either. This one was more like... It
was about 6 minutes too.
Yeah, that was short. But you could have done so much more in those 6 minutes. They could... I mean, maybe they should have... If they would have done it right...
6 minutes, it should have just been a straight squash.
Yeah, and then they've got Jody Threat out there, who had a... Jody Threat is a great talent. Mm-hmm. And she's in the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, whatever, later on in the show. Mm-hmm. In this particular case, I think this also hurt Jody. Because this is a situation I don't feel like really... It didn't really need her in this situation. I know that she's a part of the story they're trying to tell. Jody was the one that was there in defense of Gio when Tess was going off, which is just more issue for me for this whole match, because Jody is out there to play counteract to the heel in Tess's corner, which is Victoria Crawford, right? She's there to be that foil. When the heel does something, here's where Jody gets involved and evens the playing field, right? Which is, again, classic wrestling, easy psychology. Jody got the spot. She comes off the top rope. She knocks everybody over. Everybody's happy. That might be one of the biggest pops of the entire match. She's not in the match. So this whole thing is all over the place. It's all over the place. The presentation was off. That set the tone incorrectly for this entire match. They had the match they were supposed to have, and then it is what it is. Then all of a sudden it took a cheating tactic. What was the roll of quarters? Took a roll of quarters to the skull to beat a backstage interviewer in the middle of a ring on a pay-per-view. Not just any pay-per-view. They're Bound for Glory. Their WrestleMania show. This is Bound for Glory. So that was my only real issue of the match. I don't know if you have anything you want to throw in for the match itself, but that was it for me. I was like, oh no. I was starting to get the PTSD, when the army guy sits there and stares at the screen and all the negative shit happens.
I just love Alicia Fox's eye poke.
Devastating eye poke.
That was good.
Classic Piper.
Yeah. I was like, nobody peeped that? Just a quick little boop. And the fact that she didn't really sell it, she just gave her the side eye, did you just really poke me?
Did you boop?
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, she did.
How dare you?